Congratulations, guys. You've made it this far. And I know we've been talking a lot about the unconscious mind versus the conscious mind. This next exercise that I'm going to take you through is really going to bring a lot of clarity to what's going on with you in your life. There's 3 types of habits that we all live with. And the first is habit awareness. And so I want you to write down habit awareness. What I want you to do is I want you to write down 5 habits in your life that are no longer serving you. This is going to be very important, guys and gals. Why this is because we're now going to start to identify these unconscious patterns, these unconscious habits. I want to use a basketball analogy. So let's say there's a losing team. We look at the scoreboard and we see that the Boston Celtics lost to the Miami Heat. I'm a Miami Heat fan. We're then going to be able to say, okay, we know the Boston Celtics lost Game 7, so let's go back to the scorecard and let's see why. Was it the turnovers? Was it the lack of rebounds? Was it the lack of field goals? Was it the three-point percentage? And so now we're going to be able to start to identify these unconscious habits. And so we want to identify what the scoreboard says. And so how we do that is we write down 5 habits that are no longer serving us. That's 1. 2 is habit application. And what habit application is you're going to take those 5 habits that are no longer serving you, and we need to identify the gifts in them. Identify how they have benefited you in your life. It's very important. And the reason why this is important is because I want to show you that nothing is wrong with you. This is beneath your awareness. Once you can start to see the human side of you, you're going to start to have more self-acceptance and self-love. You're no longer going to beat yourself up. Maybe you're dealing with a destructive habit in your life right now that isn't serving you, but let's put it on paper. Let's see what it is, because then we could identify the root of this. Anything that you got going on was typically taught to you between the ages of 2 and 9. And so, for example, some universal beliefs that you may have created or adopted some habits around is like, have you ever heard your parents say like, big boys, big girls don't cry? Or money doesn't grow on trees. Rich people are greedy. And so I'm using these because those are like universal beliefs or universal habits that people say because it was taught to them as a little boy or a little girl. And so understand that this habit awareness has everything to do with what was going on between the ages of 2 and 9. We really unpack this at the personal development seminar so we can really identify the root cause of what's going on. But this is the first step to this. This is the first step, is to have the clarity. So put the pen to paper, identify these habits that are no longer serving you. And then next to them, I want you to write down, how has this benefited you in your life? How has these habits that haven't served you, how have they benefited you? Because we want to keep the good parts. We want to identify the parts that give us the leverage to become better versions of ourselves. And then the last piece, which is my favorite, is habit creation. And so here we get to create new habits. You cannot replace old habits unless you replace it with a new habit. Swap out the old habits with the new habits, and that's where habit creation comes in. And so I want you to take the next 15, 20 minutes and really write out exactly how you want your life to look. Because at the end of the day, this is your creation. Remember, you're so much stronger than you thought you were. You're more powerful than you know. And remember, nothing is missing, right? You're a human being doing the best that you can, showing up in the world. And I want to congratulate you for going this far in the program, because it lets me know that you're serious. It lets me know that you really want to be the change that the world needs to see. And sometimes we have to take a look at things that don't feel so good. Sometimes we have to look at these habits that aren't serving us, and they're painful. And I've done this for the last 22 years of my life. And every single year, I get a little bit better, I get a little bit better, I get those reps in, and all of a sudden it becomes an unconscious skilled behavior. Thank you guys again for watching.